You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
State lawmakers cracking down even more on pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs as they're known, following years of complaints from Arkansas pharmacies over being underpaid. KARK Capitol reporter Samantha Boyd has been covering that ongoing effort to crack down on those PBMs. She joins us now in studio. Thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure. Glad to be here.
Set the stage for us on what this controversy is all about.
So essentially the state is saying through a state law and an emergency rule that came with it, basically they're saying to PBMs, either you pay these pharmacies the accurate necessary price or cost, or you're going to pay us thousands of dollars in fines. They're going to pay either way is what the state's saying. And yesterday they had a meeting where they passed that emergency rule, and it was interesting because lots of pharmacists were in there. You usually don't go to a legislative meeting and see a bunch of white coats in the audience, but tons were there, and it's because they all say this is crucial for the survival of their businesses.
All right.
We're doing everything we can to survive.
The Arkansas Legislative Council Executive Subcommittee making sure the state holds PBM's feet to the fire in the ongoing battle between the companies and pharmacies in the natural state. Chapel Pharmacy owner Mike Stover is one of the dozens of pharmacists who sat through Thursday's meeting, with his own store suffering the consequences of PBMs not paying fair prices.
It's dire. It's really dire.
As of the meeting, the state now is able to enforce the law and fine PBMs up to $5,000 for each violation.
Over the past few months, there have been some instances where I've had to have terribly gut-wrenching discussions with people about not being able to fill certain prescriptions because their reimbursement was $30, $40, $50 below cost.
Insurance department staffers testified in Thursday's meeting that they're receiving up to 1,600 complaints a day coming in from pharmacies because of the pharmacy benefit managers.
You're getting that many complaints. I think it stands to reason that there's a problem.
CEO of Arkansas Pharmacists Association, John Vinson, says he's confident Thursday's actions will send a message to a specific group of people.
To hold these middlemen who raise drug prices and in some cases underpay to create pharmacy deserts in Arkansas. We're very appreciative to be in a state where our legislature, our governor stands up to these bad acts.
All right, so interesting stuff there. So if PBMs don't follow this Arkansas law, it's going to start to impact these every day. I mean, it's going to start affecting prices that people are paying when they go to the pharmacies if they can't even pay them. What happens next?
That's a possibility. I think they're still figuring out what the accountability part of this is. I think they're just hoping that PBMs will follow this law because they're racking up millions of dollars in fines. So I think they're hoping that that doesn't have to happen. And I think they're going to maybe figure that out next session, official things they can do maybe. But one option that they threw out there several times yesterday was having to increase the dispensary costs, which is the money we pay to go get our prescriptions, by up to possibly 3.5% because they need money somewhere to make up for what PBMs aren't paying these pharmacies to keep them in business. And so what it sounds like right now is if PBMs don't step up to the plate, we will.
Was there any testimony from PBMs or people representing PBMs at yesterday's hearing?
No, and we haven't heard much from them throughout this process. I'll get statements from them sometimes, a written statement, but I do know in November they're having their first hearings where they'll have to come testify. I guess we'll see if they show up, because I know this is federal, but we'll see if they show up. But yeah, they'll start testifying, I believe, in 2 months.
There have been some state laws changed to address PBMs. This was a few sessions ago. I remember this might have even been in a special session if my memory serves me correct. So you've talked to some legislators that are ready, it sounds like, to file new legislation to regulate this at the state level.
I think this is going to be an ongoing effort because I think we're continuing to discover the problem over time. As we discover more problems with PBMs, then we figure out how we need to respond to that. Yep. And I haven't been told that officially, but it sounds to me like next legislative session, if PBMs aren't following this, I would assume lawmakers would try and avoid this being up to us to pay the difference, right. And they're going to try and find a different way to punish the PBMs.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to want their constituents pulling an extra $10, $15, $25 out of their pocket or more.
No, but people might be willing to do that too if it means their pharmacy staying in business. But for some people, 3.5% of what they'd be paying is a lot.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Samantha Boyd, good work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Good
Glad
to see you.
Glad to be here.
All
You
right.
too.
All right. We're back with more right after this word from our sponsors.